Like to boast about that often, and they performed those songs today. Haven't they been beautiful? At my request, it's my birthday, and so I thought I may as well go ahead and say it because someone's going to, and I decided, since it was leap year, that if it had been a regular year, my birthday would have been yesterday, right? And so I've been celebrating since then and bought myself a cake from Rouse's, that wonderful Gentilly cake. There must be the best cake in the world. I had them write on it, "Happy Birthday, Grandma." And then, of course, had the grandchildren give it to me. And
you were surprised.
Yes. We just had, the kids came over. We had a great time yesterday. So anyway, this topic today couldn't have come at a more appropriate time, could it? Because right now, a lot of us have been exercising our fear and doubt instead of our faith. And if you watch the news and everything is sensationalized, and it's really difficult, if you're going to live by that. Fear is part of being human. We do all experience it. We know that, and it can keep us out of trouble sometimes. It can keep us from going into a lion's den or something like that. So fear is a good thing to have in the appropriate place. But it can certainly cause a lot of illness and distress, and it has. It's one of those lower energetic expressions, and whatever's causing it, it's always important to remember that its presence is a call for faith, strength, and courage. But first, if you want to, I'm so sorry. It is fall here. If you want to stay in fear and worry, okay? I have a few suggestions. Watch the news every night. And then carefully note every tragedy and how it could happen to you and your loved ones tomorrow, okay? Listen carefully to every disease discussed in those drug company advertisements. You know the ones I'm talking about. Now listen carefully to that because it may apply to you. Review the symptoms and see how they apply to your body or those of your loved ones. Share every little detail about your ailments with everyone that you run into. Now be sure to do that. Tell them as often as you can. Concern yourself with what everyone in your life is doing and evaluate whether they're living up to your expectations. Whenever you catch someone doing something improper, be sure to let him or her know loudly and clearly that they are in the wrong, okay? Keep that up. Insist on seeing the world realistically. If an optimist comes along or someone tries to get you to see the hidden benefits, refuse. Refuse to be misled. Never, ever believe that something good can come from something challenging, okay? Be constantly on guard so that others don't take things from you, whether it's money, ideas, love, freedom, creativity, your personal possessions, or your health. Remain convinced that there is only so much to go around, and if you don't get there first, someone else will, and you'll lose out. And last, live cautiously at every moment. Spend as much time as possible every day thinking of all the things you fear, so that they never catch you unaware. Never, ever try to overcome fears. After all, they just might come true. And dearly beloveds, they will, guaranteed, if that is what you hold in your heart and what you're looking for, they will come. We have a chart of emotions we're going to show, and forgive me for this, we prepare all of our PowerPoints, myself included. I prepared this one in the newer version, and then we have an older version of PowerPoint on this computer upstairs. I'm going to fix that one day. But this one ran over the edges a little bit. This is very simple, and it has been taken from many sources. You will see many different versions out there of this. Joy, appreciation, feeling empowered, freedom, love. These are the things that we want to feel in our lives. They are the highest that we want to aspire toward. Passion, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. And the way these charts work, the various ones that we start down at the bottom, and of course we recognize that, don't we, as being dense, emotional energy that we do not want to remain in. Okay? Anger, revenge, hate, rage, jealousy, guilt, fear, despair. Okay, now if you feel yourself having those feelings, all right? I want you to go to the thoughts that are causing that. Challenge them. Challenge those thoughts. You can, you know. I didn't know that when I was a little girl. I was never told that. It's only as I was growing up that I realized, just because I had that thought doesn't mean it's true, does it? Not at all. It's just a thought. Think of what you believe that's causing that anger and fear. Then, even if you move up a little bit, disappointment's better than that, isn't it? Doubt or worry, those are a little bit better than those really bottom level emotions. And then you raising on up, frustration, irritation, impatience, being overwhelmed. They're a bit better. Of course, they're a lot better, and a lot better on the body than the ones on the bottom. Optimism, doesn't it feel better the higher you go from boredom and pessimism to optimism, hopefulness, satisfaction, contentment? Then we move on up to positive expectations and belief, passion, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness, all the way up to joy. I wish you joy. I wish you love. I wish you freedom. Worry comes from the Latin to constrict. It's a form of anxiety. You may worry about money, health, your family, whether you'll find love. You can worry about anything you want to. Worry comes from our thoughts, doesn't it? And what we believe. You may also worry that if you don't worry, something bad will happen. Some of us grew up with that belief, didn't we? That you're supposed to worry. A form of superstition that this one lady said she grew up with in her Jewish family. You were supposed to worry or something was wrong with you. You didn't care enough. No, Frank didn't. He grew up in unity. But what worry does, it takes concern, and of course we have concern, don't we? We all have concern. but it takes concern into the realm of suffering. We weren't meant to suffer. There are many people in the world who've allowed someone else or the voice of their own inner critic to extinguish any hope that they ever had. I hope you're not one of those. When you've lost hope, hopelessness, that is despair. But we'll talk in a moment how even if you are experiencing hopelessness, all it takes is a little spark, one tiny glimmer, just one tiny thought. What if I could see this differently? What if I could see this differently? Whatever this is going on in the world. What if I could see it differently for just a moment? And once you allow just a small glimmer of light to come in, just one small glimmer of light, you'll find that more light will come. There was a farming community that suffered a drought. The parched earth produced little of the life and wealth-sustaining crop that every family there depended upon. A local minister called the community together to pray for rain, so they all gathered. The town square became crowded with citizens from all faith traditions. He greeted everyone. Scanning the crowd for familiar faces, his eyes landed upon a young girl approaching the parched fields. The crowd parted as she neared. She was the only one carrying an umbrella. Can you imagine? All these people, they're going to pray rain. And that's what we've learned to do, you know. We're not praying for rain. We pray rain. We pray healing, because what we know of prayer is the place we go within to our hearts where we see this golden, whatever it is that you hold sacred, Jesus, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, light, love, whatever energy that is good and is of God. Go with that. Whatever is sacred, go there. Pray from there. Pray from that place. And sometimes the most sacred prayer is simply to pray change. Pray that the best will happen. And then know it. Know it. I'm excited to know what good might come from this. That needs to be our frame of mind right now as we go through the pandemic and all, oh my goodness, all the things out there. Pay them no mind. Let them go by. It's not yours. You don't need that. You don't need all that political chaos. You don't need that. You don't need all that worry. You can't heal the world with all that worry. We've talked before, what you can do is hold faith. Be the faith keeper. Hold faith in your heart. Stand up and show the world your soul. Show them what you're made of. Show them the love. Show them that you have absolutely no fear. So we give thanks every day. We don't give our power away. That's how we turn fear to faith. We observe our thoughts. And I think Byron Katie was famous for the one that came up with those 4 questions. She changed her life totally with those questions. Her life was in the pits. And she had a startling revelation one day. She said, it's this thought that's causing me pain. And is this thought even true? She analyzed it, and she said, well, no. There's no truth to that thought at all. Why was I thinking it? Why was I believing that? Question everything you believe. Everything. So observe your thoughts. Exert control over them. Ask, is this thought helpful and true? Is it leading me to fear? This is important, and I want us to do this right now. Unclench your hands. Unclench your jaw. Okay? Let's do this right now. Let's just have a little exercise in relaxing. Okay. Remember to breathe deeply. I was on several Zoom calls this past week. As a matter of fact, one day I had 5, and that was people who had applied for the ministry path, and I was on the committees to interview them. And then what you do after you've interviewed them, you get together with the committees and you hold discussions. It's extremely, extremely fair process, just as you would imagine. And we're all holding ourselves in the highest regard. But what I noticed about myself there at one point was I'm sitting there at the computer in a really strained manner. And I'm thinking, I'm getting a pain in my back. And I think my stomach hurts too. And my goodness, my jaw. So I just okay. Before the next interview, I said, okay, let's do this. Let's make sure we're in a comfortable position. Close my eyes, I relax my forehead, I relax my jaw. Unclench your jaw. Unclench your fists. Do you know how often we're clenching our fists? Often. Even when I pray, this is how I like to pray. Hold my hands flexed like this, especially in my quiet time in the morning. I want to show you what I do, and I do it very softly. I want you to see. I hold my hands flexed, then I place them just like this. In that very soft manner. Very softly. I am gentle with myself. That was a nice song, by the way. I am gentle with myself. I treat myself kindly and lovingly. And even as I look at these thoughts and I observe them, I know there's a reason for that. We're human. We were trained, weren't we? When we were trained well as children. We were trained very well. So we need to shake all that early training, though. Let it go. Just shake it off. Just shake it off, just like your dog does. When he comes in, he shakes all that water all over your house. Just shake it off. And be gentle. Unclench your hands. Relax your shoulders. Roll your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Remember to breathe deeply. Use powers of love, imagination, strength, wisdom, courage to overcome the dark, foreboding thoughts and feelings. And that's only thoughts that do not have light, okay? just like there's not really a darkness, all you have to do is shine light on it. And it's the same way with your thoughts. If they're foreboding, shine a little light on them. Even if it's a little at a time, as we said when we moved up that chart, if that's all you can do. Repeat to yourself, I can believe before I see. I can believe before I see. And so this morning, I just ask you, do you have a mustard seed, as Jesus suggested? Use it. If you pray for rain, carry an umbrella. Okay. And if you're a ship, come out of hiding and go out to the sea, because that's what ships were made for. I thank you for your time.